When the young man woke up the next morning, he found the beautiful sapphire lying on a bunch of withered violets. His eyes sparkled when he saw the lovely gem.
"Well, it looks like I'm being appreciated at last," he cried. "This must be from some great admirer. Oh, with food in my belly and firewood on the fire, I know I'll be able to finish my play."
And he looked happier than he had looked for a long time. The next day, the swallow flew down to the harbour. He sat on the mast of a large vessel and watched sailors hauling in big tea chests. The little swallow was so excited when he saw the sailors that he cried out, "Wait for me! I'm coming with you!" Once again, the swallow had made up his mind. He was going to go to Egypt. He flew straight back to the happy prince. "I have come to say goodbye," he cried. "Swallow, swallow, dear little swallow," said the prince, "won't you stay with me just one more night?" "It is winter," said the swallow, "and soon the snow will be here. In Egypt the sun beats down on the lovely palm trees, and the crocodiles lie about in the mud. So you see, dear prince, I must leave you. But I will never forget you. Next spring I will bring back 2 beautiful jewels from the king of Egypt's palace to replace those you have given away." The happy prince then told the swallow another sad story. Down in the city square below, there lives a little match girl. She has let her matches fall into the gutter, and they're soaked through. That poor, poor girl. Her father will beat her if she doesn't bring home any money, and the sad little girl is crying. She has no shoes or stockings, and the icy rain is making her very cold. Please, pluck out the other sapphire and give it to her. Then her father will not beat her." The prince looked so sad that the swallow could not refuse. "Yes, all right. I will stay with you for just one more night," said the swallow. "But I cannot pluck out your other eye. You would be completely blind if I did that." "Swallow, swallow, dear little swallow," said the prince. "Do as I command you." So he plucked out the prince's other eye and flew down to the square with it. He hovered above the little match girl and dropped the lovely jewel into her hand. "What a lovely bit of glass," said the little girl, and she ran home laughing. Then the swallow flew back to the prince. "You are blind now," said the swallow, "so I will stay with you, always." And he went to sleep at the prince's feet. The next day, the swallow sat on the prince's shoulder and told him incredible stories of the sights he had seen in strange lands. He told him of the exotic flowers on the banks of the Nile, of the Sphinx, who is as old as the world itself, and who knows everything about everything. "Dear little swallow," said the prince, "I love to hear the marvelous stories you tell me. But more marvelous than anything is the suffering of men and women. Misery is the greatest mystery of all. Fly over my city, dear little swallow, and tell me about all the things you see there." So the swallow flew over the great city, and he saw the rich feasting in their grand houses, and the beggars sitting at the gates. "How hungry we are," they cried, as they huddled together and tried to keep warm. Then he flew back and told the prince what he had seen. "I have seen much poverty and much wealth," said the swallow. "I am covered in fine gold," said the prince. "You must take it off, leaf by leaf, and give it to all the poor people of this city." Now, the swallow wasn't too happy about taking all the gold leaf away, but he did as the prince asked. Soon the prince looked very grey and very ordinary. The swallow took all the gold leaf to the poor, and soon the children looked healthy. For the first time in their lives, they laughed and played games in the street. Then the snow came, and after the snow came the frost. The poor little swallow wasn't used to this cold weather, and he got colder and colder. But he would not leave the prince. He loved him too much. Desperate to keep warm, he just kept flapping his wings. But it was no use. He knew he was going to die. He had just enough strength to fly up to the prince's shoulder one more time. "Goodbye, dear prince," he cried. And as he kissed the prince for the last time, the little bird fell down, dead. At that moment, there was a great crack inside the statue. The prince's lead heart had broken in two. Early the next morning, the mayor was walking in the square below with the town councillors. They all went to look at the statue.
Look, the ruby has fallen out of his sword. He has no eyes, and he is no longer golden, said the mayor. In fact, he is no better than a beggar.
"Yes, he's no better than a beggar," said the town councillors.
And look, there's a dead bird at his feet, continued the mayor.
"We really must issue a proclamation that birds are not allowed to die here," said the town councillor. So they pulled down the statue of the Happy Prince.
We must have another statue, of course. Let's have a statue of me, said the mayor.
"No, let's have one of me," said one of the other town councillors.
No, of me,
Another butted in, and soon all the town councillors were claiming that the statue should be of themselves. Back at the foundry, where the statue had been melted down, the overseer of the foundry was puzzled. "How strange," he said. "This broken lead heart just won't melt. We'll have to throw it away." So they threw it on a rubbish heap, where the dead swallow was also lying. "Bring me the two most precious things in the city," said God to one of his angels. And the angel brought him the lead heart and the dead bird. "You have chosen well," said God, "for in my garden of paradise this bird shall sing forever, and in my glorious city the happy prince shall never weep again."